Okay, hello everybody, ladies, gentlemen, and non-binaries of the internet. Um, Today's episode, well, let me get one thing out of the way first. My ass currently hurts. My right ass cheek. What the fuck? I think it's because I sat down wrong, but everything I've been sitting on has been fucking soft. I don't know what the hell is going on with my right ass cheek. Anyway, second thing I wanted to get out of the way, it's 2022 as of recording this. Happy New Year, everybody! If you're listening to this on the New Year, and if you're not, well, this is just a regular episode for you. So, I'm gonna try to make this episode not as unhinged. Well, maybe, unless that's what you want, but we'll see how we goes. How we go. Yeah. So, thank you to people who have given feedback. Specifically my friend Nori. Hello, thank you for giving me topics to talk about this week. Because I really have no idea what the fuck to do or talk about, really. Because I mean, what the hell is this podcast? Who am I even doing this for at this point anyway? For myself, maybe. Okay, we'll do some Q&As because that's fun. Oh no, before we get into Q&As, I will tell you about my holidays. It's been uneventful. Okay, nothing has happened. I have had probably the most boring and uneventful Christmas and New Year's I've had in years. I wouldn't say it's been the worst, okay? I'll say 2018 Christmas and New Year's was still the fucking worst for reasons I may or may not get into if there's a demand for that explanation. But it was just boring, because all my friends, I'm sure they had all their plans, and but the main reason is because of COVID. Okay, Auckland has been in lockdown for 3 months, and it was really unsure what the hell the city would be in by December. So that's why it was a bit fucky with the plans. That's why I didn't plan anything, because I was things might change, even though I could have. But at that point, I was just like, you know what? If something happens, if I end up doing anything, then sure, that'll be fun. But if not, then that's fine too. I'll probably just get H word and drunk, and then which is what happened mostly H word. But so another thing that needs to be brought up recently. Well, it doesn't need to be brought up, but it's about me. So I just watched House of Gucci because New Zealand only released House of Gucci yesterday, January 1st. So that's a bit weird because it came out Thanksgiving time, I don't know, last week of November in the States and most other places. So I don't know why New Zealand had to delay it. I don't know, maybe because of COVID. But anyway, I saw it I just finished an hour ago pretty much. And I have to say, okay, listen y'all. Bottom line for House of Gucci by Ridley Scott. I love Gaga, and I thought she was great in the film. I think she is a really great actress. Because I guess A Star Is Born was her proving grounds, right? But see, even with that film, I can see why people will say, "Oh, the role was made for her," or blah, blah, blah. But you know what? Even though the role may have been made for her because she was a pop star, and A Star Is Born was about a pop star's life and whatever. First of all, Bradley Cooper said in a recent interview or conversation with Ridley Scott, he praised Gaga again, as he does and as he should, that when he saw Gaga, or Ali, the character, come up on stage for the first time, he believed that Gaga, the person, the real life person, as Ali, performing as Ali, the character, he believed that she has never stood and performed in front of a huge crowd of people ever before in his life. So you know what? If the director believes that his co-star in the film did a great job, then I believe it too. And you know what? I believe it on my own merit as well. Like, I don't need Bradley Cooper to say that she did a great job in A Star Is Born. She did. But okay, moving on to House of Gucci. This is like really her, besides her television stuff, which is pretty much just American Horror Story, right? Besides that, this was her like proving ground even more so, because she's actually playing a completely different kind of person than Allie, right? So, and yet what I thought of it was that she did a great job, right? And I believe that she will deserve her eventual Best Actress nomination at the Oscars, because it's gonna happen, people. It's gonna happen. That's just, I kind of keep up with the Oscar race, and like the way people get nominated for the Oscars, it's pretty interesting. You know, I'm not gonna give a whole rundown because like I'm not really that knowledgeable about it. There are other people you go to for that. But the oh my god, can I speak? Can I try to get my thoughts together? The main catalyst for you getting nominated for the Oscars, there we go, is that you have to get nominated for all the other awards in the months leading up to the Oscars. So, for example, Critics' Choice Awards is one of them. Golden Globes is huge. And then there are a bunch of other things. Like for the acting awards, like the Screen Actors Guild Awards has to be one of them. So, like, if you get nominated for those, like, for example, in the acting category, you're pretty much guaranteed the Oscar nom come February or whenever the fuck it's gonna be this year. But so Gaga has been nominated in most of, if not all, the huge like determiner award shows for the Oscars, and so like it's gonna happen, guys. She's gonna be nominated for Best Actress at the Oscars, and if I don't, I will owe everyone who comments this and says, "Hey, Gaga didn't get nominated for the Oscars," $1 New Zealand. I will pay you $1 New Zealand, and like I don't have a huge following, so like, you know, I'm only gonna pay a couple dollars at this point based on my current audience. But if in the future, no, I'm future proofing this. This offer only lasts until the Oscar nominations are revealed in 2022. So, if between this point and then that Gaga doesn't get nominated for the Oscar for Best Actress, then I will give you $1. There you go. Call me out on that. I will give you $1 because like I just know she will be nominated. Anyway, sorry folks, I just took another drink of my Delete seltzer. Yes, I'm an alcoholic. Anyway, besides Gaga, see, I thought the film was okay, right? But like it wasn't horrible. But I personally felt like, because it's gotten mixed reviews, right? Currently, and I can see why, because like to me, as a film graduate, as all my listeners know, part of the Galaxy lore, I'm a film graduate, though not currently working in the film industry because like I don't want to. You know, I'm enjoying my time chilling. But as a film graduate, with my knowledge, limited knowledge of film, and my appreciation for critiquing it the best I can, it falls flat in almost every aspect of the filmmaking, besides the acting, I guess, and the performances of the actors. And even some of the performances, you know, people are fair in saying that like it's too over the top. Like Jared Leto, he speak like he the Mario in the Mario movie, you know, better than Chris Pratt. God, sorry, but that's how he sounds like in the movie. You know what I'm saying? But so like when I say it falls flat in every category of filmmaking, so the pacing and the editing, for one, is a bit interesting, and if not boring, most of the time, because like the editor, I feel like was on something while editing the House of Gucci, and I don't know why Ridley Scott was like happy with what ended up being the final film, because like to me, opinions. It did feel like it was just, you know, things were happening. Things were happening. Scene after scene after scene. And I read this comment and they described it perfectly. It's like there's no causality in terms of like the events of the film, right? Um there were like no stakes. It was just things happening and like sure characters have motivations and wants and desires, but like the way the film is cut up doesn't really help it. Am I making sense? Anyway, should I move on from House of Gucci? Overall rating C plus or a 6 out of 10 or 3 out of 5 stars. Um, you know, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad because like, okay, to me, it takes a lot for me to hate a movie. Okay, like for example, a popular movie that I hate, and you can cancel me for this because I don't care. I hate Jurassic Park. I watched that shit for like movie class because I've never seen movie class. Jesus Christ. Film class. It was like part of my film class in like first year or second year. Anyway, I watched it in university and we had to critique it, right? And so that was one of the films that was shown to us on like a Friday because it was like a Friday, every Friday thing. So one Friday we were shown Jurassic Park and I have not seen the film beforehand. And when I watched Jurassic Park, even during as I was watching it presently, I was thinking in my brain, I fucking hate this movie. I'm sorry, I hated it. Like from what I remember, okay? I just didn't find anything that the characters did to be logical or to be like yeah, logical. Like I thought all the characters were fucking stupid. I fucking hated every single fucking character in Jurassic Park. And the only thing I can praise about the movie is the score. That was the only good thing about the movie. Is whoever composed the score. I'm sorry, you're I know you're like he's a prolific composer for film. But his score was the only good thing about the film. I think I gave it like a 1.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Letterboxd, as you know, is like the film Twitter users website. But yeah, for example, that's one film that I really hated, which a lot of people love, which is interesting. Another film I hate, Ocean's 8. See how that rhymed? But Ocean's 8, not Ocean's 11, because 11 is the one with the guys, right? Ocean's 8 is the one with the females. And you know, I'm not a misogynist, please. Maybe I am. No, I'm not. But I didn't hate Ocean's 8 because of the fact that it was like the women's version of course not. You know, I'm an F word, right? I'm gay as hell. Like, of course I love my strong, powerful women in cinema and television. I love all of them, right? Kate Blanchett, Sarah Paulson, Rihanna, who else? That fucking girl from Gravity. Oh my god, I can't think. Sandra Bullock, I think? Yep, Sandra Bullock. I love all of them as actresses, right? But the reason why I hated Ocean's 8 was because, like, I didn't feel any stakes. There were stakes, one could say, or, and there was, no, yeah, oh my god, can I get my thoughts together? See, this is Unhinged, Zoomer Ramblings once again. Yes, there was a goal, but it felt like everything went according to plan. Because it's a heist movie, right? Ocean's 8. And so as I was watching Ocean's 8 in the cinema, and I was seeing how everything was going according to plan, there was no big dramatic, oh my god, I feel that I didn't feel any tension. I did not feel any tension. And so I was bored throughout the movie, and from what I remember, I also really hated some editing choices, and it looked like it was made in Windows Media Maker with some of the transitions and whatnot. But so, yes, those are two examples of films I quote-unquote hate, which, surprisingly, a lot of people don't hate. Know what I'm saying? Like those are at most like uh mixed reviews from the audience and critics alike. If well, more so Ocean's 8. I think maybe not. Maybe both of those films were supposedly films that a lot of people liked, but I didn't. But see, for House of Gucci, a film that a lot of folks didn't like, I thought it was okay, right? I wouldn't say I liked it or loved it. I definitely didn't love it. And maybe I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it either. Maybe because of Gaga, right? I'll admit my bias. Of course, I love Gaga, as you know, part of the Galaxy lore. But yeah, there's a little more insight on how I review films or think of films, I guess. So, next thing on the agenda, thanks to Nori, she wanted to know about my life in New Zealand / the process of getting into the country. Okay, so the process of getting into the country, I would say, honestly was very easy, I guess, coming from a privileged place, right? Because all you had to do is just follow the visa application rules. And okay, first of all, get a good immigration lawyer, if immigration lawyer is the correct term to use. Visa advisor, I don't fucking know, but get one. I have a really great one. Shout out to you if you ever listen to this. I'm not gonna say your name. I don't know, maybe you don't want me to say your name, but she has been very good. She's been my same advisor or lawyer, however you want to call her, for the past 3 years. And all you have to do is submit some documents, like police record, birth certificate, your passport, and yeah, all that stuff. And then I got in on a student visa. It's different for like if you want to straight up just work here immediately. That's a whole different process I have no idea about. But anyway, let's move on to my life in New Zealand. Okay, here's what I'll say about my life in New Zealand. As compared to, I guess, the only other places I've lived in my life, the Philippines and Qatar. Compared to the Philippines, I will say, honestly, it's very fucking boring. Okay? Like, and the biggest thing that I will complain about or bring up is the nightlife. Because I have really come to enjoy the nightlife or lifestyle in the Philippines, of course, like especially in my last few years of high school, last 2-3 years of high school, even my gap year, one would say, which was 2017. Most of 2017, I was just like, well, I wouldn't say most of it. I was clubbing and bar hopping and whatever, but like I would go out a lot, right, in the Philippines, and like the clubs are banging, at least compared to the clubs and bars here in New Zealand or Auckland, I will say. I have no idea how it is in Wellington, but like if Auckland is already the biggest city, you know, in New Zealand, more so than Wellington, the capital, and apparently the Wellington's night scene is even worse. So I'm like, well, if Auckland's already bad and Wellington's already worse, and so like this is all I got, man. Like Auckland nightlife is fucking shit. And like maybe that's because like I don't get to go to the nice places or the rich people clubs wherein you have to pay, I don't know, $100 for an entrance fee, or like you have to know people like influencers or celebrities to get into them. Apparently those places exist, but like sure, I don't go into them, and like maybe those are really nice, but like even then I feel like if I would go into those places, it would be that sort of thing where the only people that would be there are like stuck up rich bitches, and I'm like, I'm not a stuck up rich bitch. I'm privileged, sure, but I wouldn't call myself like I wouldn't put myself with those kinds of people where they just, it's just a completely different life, right? But anyway, nightlife. Yeah, so the clubs I have been to here in Auckland, I am sorry to say, sorry to this club, it's so bad. Like just the ambiance, okay? If you want me to get into specifics, the ambiance and like I guess the physical space of the clubs are so fucking small and cramped, and like if it's a busy night, oh my god, you're like squeezing through people, and like I guess that's part of the nightlife. But let me tell you, the clubs I've been to in the Philippines, shout out BGC, Bonifacio Global City, or Makati, any of those nice places, right? Admittedly, yes, those are rich people places, but let me tell you, even middle class, which I would consider myself to be part of, like the bourgeoisie, right? Even middle class, regular Filipino people can easily, maybe not easily, but can afford to go into those clubs and have a good time. Even once in a while, you don't have to go every week. The people who go every week, yeah, sure, those are the rich bitches. But like, I only got to go once every few months, and those few times I had a really great time because like the clubs are big, okay? The clubs are big. And like there's space. You're not going to be squeezing around people and like moving to go to the toilet or whatever. But like, yeah, that's mainly part of it. And like the music, I'm sorry to say, like I am a Zoomer, so I enjoy my Zoomer shit. You know, I enjoy my early to late 2000s, early 2010s kind of music. And they don't play that shit here in Auckland, except for, I'm not going to name this bar, but it's a pretty big bar. If you know, you know. It's a bar and then a number. That bar sure plays like the kind of music that I would like actually bump to in the club, but it's full of kids. And when I say kids, I mean like fucking teenagers, like 16-year-olds and with fake IDs and whatever. And it's like, girl, I'm 23 and like I was 16, 17, 18 at one point, but like I don't want to be with them. I'm sorry. So I haven't been there in a while. And like it's a big meme among Auckland club goers is that this bar is like the pop-in place, mainly because it's also cheap to get in. It's only like $5 if you have a student ID. You show it and you only pay $5. I think it's a little more expensive if you're not a student. So anyway, life in New Zealand, the only thing that comes into mind is like the nightlife for me, because like every other aspect, if not boring, then yes, it's just chill. You know, it's not a busy lifestyle at all. My student life here has been fine, I guess. Like, I don't know what else to say about it. If you want me to go into like specific uni stories, I guess I can. But like, there's nothing else to say about it. Like, in terms of like going out, I only went out with my friends like every few weeks or months, even, because like I don't know, that's just the kind of people we are. Okay, moving on. My coming out story. Great. Nice segue. My coming out story. I'm assuming Noriel means by, well, like with my parents, and I will gladly tell you my coming out story. I think it was like 2015 or 2016, and it was New Year's Day, or Eve, whatever you want to call it. It was in the midnight, so I guess Eve, right? As the clock struck midnight, and this was in the Philippines. And I was drunk in my house, in my room. And I got really fucked. Okay, like I think I had tequila or some shit. Leftovers from my birthday from 4 months ago in September. And it was January already, and I still had the same alcohol, I'm pretty sure. But so, I was so drunk that I just decided, drunkenly in my mind, to video call my parents through Facebook Messenger. And that's what happened. That's the long story short. I mean, I said, it took a while for me to come out, right? I was crying. I was getting emotional. I was tearing up, Mom. I was giving an Oscar-worthy performance. And I finally, after all that, like, I have something to say to you, and then there's just, what is it? And then I was like, I'm gay, or I forget how I exactly said it, right? But like, so I came out, right? I said I'm gay, and like, they were chill with it, right? And that's why I'm grateful for them. But that is my coming out story. I don't know what else to say. They were chill with it, mostly. But no, we're good. Like, they don't care. They're not one to be like praying the gay out of me, despite them being Christian. which I'm thankful for, right? That's the long story. Is that like, we're all good, me and my parents. Um, there we go. That would do it for the things my good friend Nori wanted to talk about. And hey, look, we're already 25 minutes in. And this was the length of my last episode. And like, I felt like I was rushing through that shit. And like, I didn't know what the fuck to talk about. But I have a bunch more shit to talk about. Isn't that exciting? My episodes are getting longer and I'm getting better at this, hopefully. So we'll do some Q&As now. What was the single best thing that happened this past year? I would say the single best thing that happened this past year in 2021 was me moving out of my old place. So, context. The moment I got here to New Zealand, I basically have lived in only one place at a time, and it was a student accommodation place. So it was like, it's like this big old house. It used to be a convent, I would say, some church or religious place before. So anyway, it's like this big ass house, right? And so there are like a bunch of rooms in it. And I used to live in one of those rooms, those tiny ass rooms. And my God, I mean, like, for what it was, like, I mean, I guess, like, I was fine with it. What else, what other choice did I have? It was a nice house. It was a nice place. Nothing shitty at all. But like, for the price, for the amount of rent I'm paying in my current place here in this gorgeous room, right, that I've recently decorated with posters, it's only, this place is only $5 more expensive than my last room. So for, I guess, here I pay 215 New Zealand dollars a week, right? So do your calculations. I'm sure you can figure out what that is in pesos. 215 New Zealand dollars a week, okay? In my old place, it was 210. And this room is like literally double, if not triple, the size of my old place. So that was the best thing that happened to me in 2021. And in addition to that, I moved in with my now really good friend, Ant. Shout out, Ant, if you're actually listening to this. Maybe you are, because you said you listen to everything I do. But besides me moving in here, I moved in with him. He's in the next room, right next to mine. And yeah, that was the best thing that happened to me this year, because like, I actually get to have my room, right? What was the single most challenging thing that happened? I guess the most challenging thing in general was just like still being in that shitty cleaning job for the first half of last year. Because I was in that shitty cleaning job until like June or July, whatever, and like, Jesus Christ. I'm not exaggerating when I say I was like, that was when I needed therapy, and that's when I did seek out therapy, or counseling, I guess the more appropriate term would be. But yeah, that just getting through all those months of me just being maybe not clinically depressed, but I was really sad that like, oh my God, I would only work 4 days a week, and like my schedule was a full day on Saturday and Sunday, right? My God, from like 10 a.m. to like 6 or 7 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday, the days when like most other people in New Zealand or in the world are having their days off, right? Saturday and Sunday makes sense, right? Work Monday to Friday and relax on the weekend. But no, since I was only part-time, my schedule was so weird, and like when I went to apply for the job, they gave me this weird ass schedule because like, they just needed a person to fill the job, and I was like, I'll take any job, yeah, whatever. So I did, and then I was stuck with a shitty schedule where I worked full days, Saturdays and Sundays, and then my other days were Monday and Tuesday, I think, or Thursday, Friday, whatever it was, from like 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. on those 2 weekdays that I worked. What the fuck kind of schedule is that? And so like, I was barely getting any money. So I was still being financially supported by my parents. So I wasn't living fully independently by then. So that was part of what made me feel like shit. Is that like, I'm graduated, right? And I'm living in this country, but my existence was still being funded by my parents. And like, I really hated that feeling, right? Because I did want to become independent as much as possible. And so that was the most challenging thing of last year, was just enduring being in that job for 7 months of the year last year. Yeah, but I've moved on and I'm in a better place right now. What was an unexpected joy this past year? I guess that also goes back to um my flatmate Aunt and moving into this place, but also just this whole flat in general. I love this house. Shout out Ash and Lachlan if you're ever listening to this. But hey, just know I shouted you out. But no, the four of us here in this house, we're like a dysfunctional family, and like I've gotten close to Ash and Lachlan more so in the lockdown from like August, September, October. I really gotten close with them. So like I let me tell you guys, I love this place that I'm living in, this house. I am the happiest I've ever been, right? There we go. That's an unexpected joy. It's just like getting to live in this house with these people. They're my family. What was an unexpected obstacle? The lockdown. Because that was unexpected. So when Delta hit New Zealand, right? The whole country immediately went into fucking intense lockdown. And Auckland got the worst of it because we were the ones who stayed in intense lockdown for 3 months at least. And that was an obstacle, I guess you could say. Like, that's the only big thing I can think of because, like, besides my job, which was like the most challenging thing, that is an obstacle, is like just being in lockdown. But it's funny because, like, I wouldn't even say that that was an obstacle for me personally because, like, I am an introvert. So I like being alone in my room, on my phone or on my computer or on my Switch if I ever played my Switch. Like, for the whole day, for 7 days a week. I did that, right? I was thriving. I honestly was. It wasn't an obstacle for me in the same way it is for other people who seek social interaction a lot. It wasn't for me. But just in terms of, like, I guess along with that came the financial struggle because then I had to, like, ask my parents for help again, financial help, for like 2 weeks there because, like, the government did give out subsidies for at least 2 weeks, but then the next 2 weeks, I didn't get shit because of reasons, the government reasons. But yeah, so that was an obstacle. It's like I made less money than I would have if we didn't have lockdown. Yeah, I missed out on a couple $100 there. That was just a horrible thing for me, right? What was your biggest personal change from January to December of this past year? Okay, so I have this video on my channel where this podcast is being uploaded on YouTube, which is just my name, Alexander Claudio. I have a channel called, not channel, I have a video called To 30-Year-Old Alex and All Other Privileged Bourgeoisie, or whatever the fuck I titled that shit. And in that video, it's like not 30 minutes. I cut it down to 15. In that 15-minute video, I basically explained how, like, in the lockdown, right? So this was like a silver lining of the lockdown. In spite of it being an obstacle, quote unquote, like, that was my biggest personal change because, like, because of the fact that, like, I was able to realize things and that I was in a new job, right? My sandblasting job currently. I was able to appreciate how much I've changed, like, in terms of, like, my outlook on life, because, like, I wasn't depressed or sad anymore, right? I stopped therapy mainly because of the money thing, right? I was making less money, but also because of the fact that, like, I did feel better, right? Everything about me changed for the better in the lockdown. I don't know, I just had a more positive outlook on life. And if you want more details on that, you can check out that video. It's somewhere on my channel. You will see. But yeah, I will not get into that right now because, like, I did do a whole spiel on it. But so, what was your single biggest time waster in your life this past year? I would say social media. But then again, we could get into a whole thing of like, is that really time wasted if you like enjoyed your time? And like, I do enjoy my time on Twitter and YouTube and literally Instagram, any other social media. Like, so I mean, yes, that's a time waster, but I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. Social media, with me being a Zoomer and like me growing up with the internet, it's just pretty much impossible for you to separate me from my phone or from the PC, from my Switch or anything electronic, right? Um, and that's all for the questions regarding the past year. Move on to a bunch of other questions. Do you have a favorite holiday? Why or why not? I don't know if I have a favorite holiday. I guess the stereotypical answer would be Christmas, but the last few Christmases I haven't really been enjoying, and like I wouldn't say there was like a one Christmas that like I can think of that like was really like, oh yeah, this was the best time of my life. No, maybe except when I was younger, and like there was this one Christmas I spent with like my godfather's kids or nephews, and like it was like a whole bunch of people that I spent like a few days in Christmas with 10 years ago or something. And like I would say sure that was a good time because like I was a kid and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing and I was having a good time. So maybe I'll say that was the only memorable Christmas I had. All the others have been like sure it's been with my family and maybe we were at like a Singapore or something like that. But honestly, you know, having been to places or um with my friends, I'm sorry. I enjoy my time with my friends more than I do with my family. Like that's just the tea. I'm not even gonna like I'm an honest guy, okay? I enjoy the times I spend with my friends more than I do with my family. Despite me being um despite me loving my family. I love my family. But I just enjoy time with my friends more because like it's funny. It's like a thing with me and my mom and dad is that every single time we go on a vacation somewhere, we always have to argue. I don't know if it's just me. Maybe a bunch of other people have this as well, Filipinos or otherwise, where like you have to have one big quote unquote argument um during a vacation, and like that was always the case, mainly because it was me, because obviously you're a kid, you're a teenager, and you're gonna be a, excuse me, spoiled brat. And so sure, I can acknowledge it was mostly my fault, but then I don't know, maybe that was saying something about like what I found enjoying or to be enjoyable or not. But anyway, next question. Do you believe in soulmates? Why or why not? I do believe in soulmates. Romantic or platonic or otherwise. I do believe in those because like I have met a couple of them. My ex being one of them. Shout out Rafi if you're listening. But also like just friend soulmates. I absolutely do believe in that concept wherein like you just click right from the very first moment you meet, or maybe not even the very first moment, but like just as time goes on and you actually develop a good friendship, and like you just know in your heart and soul and mind that like, oh yeah, this person is like a for lifer, man. We're gonna fucking chill until we're fucking 80 if we're blessed to live that long, right? So yeah, I do believe in soulmates. Do you guys? I don't know if you're gonna message me or leave a comment or whatever, but I would be interested. I would love to have conversations with my listeners. I do. So leave a comment or message me. What do you look for in a friendship? Honestly, see, here's the thing. I would say I am not looking for new friends. I'm always open to having new friends, right? But I'm not actively looking for friends because like I feel like if you say that, and this might just be me, but I feel like if you say, "Oh yeah, I'm actively looking for friends," I feel like that's kind of sad. Or I mean, uh, okay, I don't mean to offend anyone if I say it like that, but like So even for me, I would say I'm an introvert. I guess becoming more of an ambivert recently, but like I wouldn't say I'm popular at all, right? I don't have like a large friend group, right? Maybe when I was younger I did, but not now when I'm an adult. And so the friends that I do have currently, I cherish a lot, right? And so I'm fine with the group of friends I have now and the people that I know now and the people that I'm really close with. So like I'm not looking for friends, but if I were to answer this question, what do you look for in a friendship? I'm looking for people who actually listen to what I have to say, because I feel like that's what friendships are built on, right? Is just like the actual interest of the other person to you and in you. Like, if you're genuinely interested in a person and you want to be their friend, without any malicious reason or ulterior motive, like, you will just be a chill person and you will listen to them, and you won't always make it about yourself. Because, like, I'm not gonna name any names, but like I would say I know a lot of people. Okay, this is what I'll say to be safe. I know a lot of people, maybe not a lot, but like I know quite a few people where like I would say I'm friends with them, but um it's more like, okay, I don't really want to compare. But let's say I have a couple friends where I'm like my soulmates, right? My soulmate friends, where like I know like I can just come to them with literally anything and everything that I want to say, even if it's fucking bullshit, right? So for example, this podcast is just me rambling on about meaningless bullshit. So think of this podcast as like the kind of conversations I would bring up with these certain people that I would consider my soulmate friends, right? Ant being one of them, my flatmate. Um, Ant, I love Ant. I love you, Ant. And with him, I can always talk about anything and everything, and he will listen to me. And like, despite it being meaningless bullshit, but there are some people I know that like I know, and I prevent myself from just spouting bullshit, because all they'll say is like some trivial or non, I don't know how to say it, like some disinterested reply, right? Oh yeah, this, that, blah 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 blah, and then they'll immediately say, okay, anyway. Oh god. Like, listen, if you're the kind of person that's like that and you're listening to this right now, if you're the kind of person that's always just gonna be like, anyway, so here's something about me, maybe look at yourself a little bit and reflect, and maybe think about why that's the reason why I'm not as close with you as we would like to be, because I would not be having these conversations with like acquaintances. I'm not. Maybe I do. Maybe I do, because I'm egotistical and narcissistic like that. But oh, that vodka. But yeah, like, did I just make sense? Like, that's what I look for in a friendship, is like people who actually listen to you. What am I most proud of in the last year? I guess actually creating content. Because like this podcast isn't the first content I've created this year. It's I've started uploading like game highlights, right? Just record. I record me and my friends playing games. It has been mostly Rainbow Six Siege and Apex Legends, but like I've edited those down into like these, I don't know, funny or amusing or entertaining videos on this channel. And yeah, I'm proud of those videos. Maybe not all entirely, but like I'm proud that I just did them, and like I guess I'm proud of this podcast for sure, absolutely. And I have this last thing on my notes. the meaning of life, and I will not get into that right now because I really need to fucking pee. And look, we've reached 44 minutes. If there's anybody still listening to this, I genuinely appreciate you. And hey, look, I'm getting better, I think. I don't think this was as unhinged. Maybe it is still slightly in a way, but like the only reason why I'm cutting this short is because I really need to fucking pee. And yeah, maybe we'll do a whole hour next time or a few episodes down the road. But thank you for listening to Unhinged Zoomer Ramblings. I don't think I even mentioned the name of the podcast in the beginning of this episode because that's how unhinged I am. But anyway, yeah, goodbye for now. And get stockmanized. I'm sorry.